Am I the asshole for expecting my partner to let my dog out while he was on staycation? Too long did not read. My partner, 36 male, was on staycation last week for 3 days, but never once let my dog out and said it wasn't his problem. So, I accept your judgment. My 36 female partner, Tommy, 36 male, was home on staycation last week Monday through Wednesday, meaning he had 5 days off. He was home all day, and maybe left the house once or twice to get himself some food, but that was it. I have a dog, Spud. I got before we got together. They adore each other and it's really sweet. Since Spud is my dog, all of his care and bills are my responsibility. I would never, ever ask or expect Tommy to ever care for him in any way, normally. Tommy literally does nothing to care for my dog aside from snuggle, but that's a two-way street, lol. Anyway, since Spud is normally home alone for about 9 hours each day, I do things to keep him occupied. He normally sleeps but still, like hide treats for him to find before I leave, have a feeder ball out, leave the blinds up so he can people watch the pond and walking trail at our apartment, check in via Blink, leave a YouTube dog channel on, you get it. Sometimes I also come home during lunch to let him out and snuggle. I wanted to hire a dog walker, but Tommy said absolutely not since he's scared we'll get our stuff stolen. Since Tommy was home though, I thought he'd be nice enough to take him out in the middle of the day to let him pee. He didn't on Monday and I brought it up. He said, "No, I won't, because then he'll expect it." Like WTF? Tommy thinks because Spud can control himself no problem for 12 hours if necessary. Happened before we got together when a pet sitter didn't pull through and didn't tell me until I had already paid and left for my day trip. Yes, I got a refund and Spud was okay, but still, not ideal. He didn't want to spoil him by letting him out during the day. I told him he didn't need a full walk, but a couple minutes to pee on the lawn would make him feel better. He wouldn't even have had to step more than 10 feet away from the apartment door. I reminded him on weekends he gets walked and let out a lot more and is still fine during the week, but Tommy still insisted he didn't care and said I was acting like a d.c.k. about it. No, I didn't yell or get dramatic. Spud is my dog after all, but am I wrong for hoping Tommy would help him out and just let him out for 2 minutes to pee? Edit. Grammar. ETA. Tommy and I have been dating for almost 3 years, living together for 2. I've had Spud for half a decade. Spud came first, and always will, lol. Thank you for all your comments, honestly, it's so validating to know I'm not crazy or an ass. I've been rethinking my relationship with Tommy over several other issues, but this is likely the final straw. I might rehome Tommy as another user suggested, but have been thinking about getting Spud a sibling, about the same age next year since I got a better paying career. If I live alone again I can have a dog walker. Thank you. Another ETA. For those of you asking about why I had a few Tinder posts, Tommy and I have been struggling for the past few months and have tried going on a break and opening the relationship. We're both asexual so it's not like we'd be bringing home STIs. We ended up reconciling, but at this point, Tinder might have been the better option. Also, no, we won't be having any kids ever, because, well, we're asexuals, lol. I genuinely don't understand Tommy's reasoning at all. Spoil a dog by letting him out to pee? What? Hope y'all don't have kids. Not the asshole. Not the asshole keeps Spud and rehome Tommy. Not the asshole. Tommy is a shit teammate. Do with that information what you will. Not the asshole I would reconsider dating someone who won't take 5 minutes out of their otherwise free day to help an animal be more comfortable. No, I won't, because then he'll expect it. Like WTF? Tommy thinks because Spud can control himself no problem for 12 hours if necessary for 3 days? That is breakup worthy in my book. No, I won't change my kid's dirty diaper because then he'll expect it. No, I won't give the baby a bottle because then he'll expect it. No, I won't sit there in the hospital while you're in labor, because then you'll expect it. Listen to the alarm bells, op, and run. Spuds before duds. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for excluding my mom from my college move-in day? I, 18 female, graduated HS a year early and decided instead of taking a break, I wanted to immediately start college. So I did a semester at a community college last year just to get ahead, and now I'm actually moved onto a campus to finish my degree. I lived with my mom, 42 female, and her husband Ryan, 48 male, halfway through high school because my siblings Amy, 10 female, and Liam, 7 male, wanted me around, and I wanted to see them too before I started doing adult stuff and got too busy to come around as often. As much as I loved being near my brother and sister, I hated living in the same house as Ryan because he and his family weren't shy about the fact that they don't really like me. When he and my mom first got together, it was like I was being purposely excluded from everything he and his family would invite us to. On holidays, I'd have a seat at the table but no one would really talk to me. I'd be asked to take pictures instead of be in them, and any time I'd try to make an effort to be included I was always told that it was, just for the family, not me. It got worse when they had my siblings, because then I would have to sit on the sidelines and watch as my brother and sister were enthusiastically accepted and wanted by Ryan's family, all while they made it blatantly obvious that they didn't want anything to do with me. There were times when Ryan would schedule family outings, but find a way to leave me at home, or he'd just straight up say I wasn't invited. The real last straw was when Ryan's sister got my mom a Mother's Day gift a few years ago. It was a locket with a picture of my brother and sister in it, and she said it was so my mom could always have her 2 children close to her heart. My mom didn't say anything about me, she didn't even glance my direction. So I stopped trying and just accepted that I'd never be a real part of her new family because I just wasn't wanted there. I'd been slowly packing my things up for the past year, either taking them to my dad's house or getting them ready to go to my dorm. So on Saturday when move-in day started, I put all of the stuff I planned on taking into my car and drove to campus myself. My dad met me there and we decorated my room together. My mom thought that I was just spending the weekend with my dad, so when I ended up telling her that I wasn't going to be coming back during the week because I'd moved in already, she got really upset. She said it was hurtful that I would exclude her from this huge moment in my life, and that as my mom it's her job to be there for this journey and be there for me. I told her that she'd been letting her husband exclude me from her life since the day they started dating, and because that never seemed to bother her, I didn't think it would be a big deal for me to do it too. I felt justified in this at first, but I could tell I really hurt her feelings, and now I'm starting to think I'm maybe in awe. Info, sorry for not including it before. I did mention the exclusion to her a lot when I was younger. She said she'd talked to Ryan about it but nothing changed. I tried again when I started living with them, but still nothing happened. I told her about the move-in date a few times, but she's been busy so I guess she forgot when it was. Not the asshole. So you mom thinks, as my mom it's her job to be there for this journey and be there for me. Pity she didn't get the memo years ago about being there for her child. Not the asshole. It's also a mom's job to be there for all parts of your life, not just the big moments. She doesn't get to pick and choose when you get to be her daughter. Keep strong, op. Not the asshole. She allowed you to be cut out of her new family. Next time she calls, ask her how many children she wears next to her heart and then go live your best life. Wish you all the luck in the world in finding your chosen family heart. Not the asshole. Good for you for standing up to your mom. Move-in day should be about you and you had every right to be surrounded with those who support you. Best of luck this semester. Not the asshole. She checked out as your mom long ago and doesn't get to magically be part of your accomplishments now. Good luck with your studies. Am I the asshole for favoring my niece over my other niece and nephew? My sister and I are currently fighting over this, so I need to know if I did something wrong. I, F33, have 2 sisters, Hannah, F40, and Sarah, F41. Sarah has 2 kids, Gina, F11, and Alec, M17. Hannah has 1 daughter, Faye, F16. All fake names. Sarah's family is pretty well off. Her kids have an easy life and I'd say they are even somehow spoiled. Hannah however is financially struggling. Faye's birthday was 3 days ago. I was thinking about what I should get her when I remembered she told me a while ago that her laptop is broken. I knew Hannah can't replace it so I decided to buy a Chromebook for her, but then I remembered how much she always wanted to play games, so I decided it would be nice if someone spoiled her for once, so I bought a gaming laptop instead. After her birthday Sarah called and blew up at me. She said I'm an asshole because I always favor Faye. She said it's not fair that I gave Faye a gaming laptop but only bought a pair of shoes for Alec's birthday, or that I spend a lot more time with Faye. Which is because Gina and Alec are spoiled, so I enjoy spending time with Faye more. Over the past 3 days she has told this to all our extended family and called me a bunch of names on Facebook. Not the asshole. Tell your sister this wasn't a group decision and you don't need her input on how to spend your money. She's well off and her kids probably lack for nothing. If she pushes the issue, point that out. Ask her how she thinks Faye feels seeing her cousins with nice things that her mother can't afford. Turn that around on her and point out how the underprivileged child is allowed to get nice things too, even if it's not from her parents, and that she should be doing the same thing to help her niece and sister. It's not even a matter of favorites. It's sheer economics. She can afford whatever is needed for her kids. Your mutual sister can't. If she can't wrap her head around that, then that's her problem, not yours. Not the asshole. They aren't your kids, you have no obligation to fairness or gifts at all. Tell your sister you know where her kids get their spoiled, entitled attitude from. Am I the asshole for refusing to make desserts for my coworkers when my dishes were returned still dirty? So I love to bake desserts. It's a meditative sort of activity to me. I really enjoy making tasty treats for other people, especially since I'm actually not a huge sweets person and couldn't ever eat all the stuff I bake. Most of the time I take it into work. I work at a small restaurant staffed by about a dozen people, including the 2 owners. We are all pretty tightly knit, as most of us have been here since the restaurant opened. I started bringing desserts for everyone to enjoy. It was never an obligation, nor did it ever feel like it. But I got a little miffed when I went in the day after I'd dropped off a pie to get my glass pie dish, and one of the owners handed it back to me still dirty. It still had crumbs and bits of pie crust left in it. I didn't say anything and just resolved to let it go. The following week I made an apple cake in a glass 9 by 13 to bring in, and left it that evening so the others on the later shifts could enjoy it too. 2 days later, on my next shift, I was given back my dish that was still dirty, and now it needed soak to clean it because the crumbs and such had dried to a hard layer. I thought this was kind of rude, as I'd been raised that if someone gifted me food, casseroles, etc., it was good manners by washing the dish that it came in when you go to return it. It happened a couple more times, so I asked the owner who was managing that day if my dishes could be washed before I got them back. However, the next few weeks nothing changed, and my dishes were still left dirty when they were returned. I decided that I'd just use disposable bakeware for anything I took to work. However, I ran into an issue that sometimes the baking time and temperature for some of my recipes doesn't work for the cheap metal disposable bakeware, something I'd forgotten about until I took a pie to work, and when they cut into it, it was discovered that the bottom crust was a bit burnt. One of the owners joked that I had downgraded my equipment so they got burnt pie. A server said she noticed I'd stopped using glassware and wondered why. So I replied that my glassware was never cleaned after everyone had eaten, and it was a major pain in the ass to clean after it was dried on. Plus I felt that it was a bit rude to have my dishes returned to me still dirty. The server shot back that the desserts were gifts, and that it's actually rude to insist that the gifties have to do something in return. Another server agreed with her, and said that if I was expecting them to wash my dishes for me, then I shouldn't bother making food for them at all. So I said I wouldn't if it was such a contentious issue. The server said I was being petty and are refusing to speak to me unless they have to. Now, I could see their reasoning that someone being gifted something shouldn't be obligated to do something in turn, but I still feel that it's rude to not wash the dish that gifted food came in. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. They work in restaurants, why are they returning dishes dirty? Hogwash. It is not rude to expect the dishes to be cleaned. Who does that? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're not obligated to make desserts for them. If you are making the effort, then it's basic manners to clean it and give back. Not to mention they themselves said you should stop if you want clean dishes back. Not the asshole. I believe there's a difference between treats and gifts. It's just common courtesy to clean a dish before returning it to someone. They're ungrateful slobs who don't deserve any of your delicious treats. Another server agreed with her, and said that if I was expecting them to wash my dishes for me, then I shouldn't bother making food for them at all. Sounds like the best solution. Not the asshole.